Double Double Toil and Trouble is the film we are going to be looking at today. And this one was actually requested by my girlfriend. I asked her for her to pick a movie for me to review, and I honestly thought she was going to pick Halloween Town. I was 100% ready for that answer. I was expecting that answer. And then she decided to hit me with a plot twist and say, nope, this movie instead. So that's what we're doing. We're doing another witch movie from 1993, which was not planned whatsoever. So, yeah. So let's get a quick rundown of the cast we've got going on here. We've got Mary-Kate Olsen playing Kelly Farmer and young Aunt Sophia. We got Ashley Olsen playing Lynn Farmer and young Aunt Agatha. Goris Leachman playing Aunt Agatha and Aunt Sophia. Mishak Taylor playing Mr. N. Phil Fondacaro playing Oscar. Eric McCormack playing Don Farmer. Kelly Fox playing Christine Farmer. Wayne Robson playing Gravedigger, which I really thought he had a name. I really did. I didn't know he was just called Gravedigger. I thought he had some kind of name like Mr. Something. But I guess they never actually did say his name, and he just said what he does, so I guess that's how they refer to him. I never realized that before, but yeah, okay. And then the movie is directed by Stuart Margolin. And a quick, basic little rundown of the movie is we've got Mary-Kate and Ashley, both sisters who basically just hate being twins. All they want to do is talk about how they don't want to be twins, how they'd rather be different. They hate being the same. Everything they do is always, okay, well, if this one gets it, you both get it, or you both got to share this. They just are sick of it and just want to be two different people. You know, they want to be known as two different people. While they're also going through that struggle, the family's also struggling because the family's losing the house. So they thought, hey, maybe Aunt Agatha will help us out. You know, she seems like a nice lady, and that's why we've brought our girls never to her ever. So, yeah, positives. Obviously, that goes exactly how you would think that would go. She basically says, get the hell out of here, you leeches. I do not need your blood-sucking, money-drying people in my life, okay? You know, you are the problem, not me. I'm going to be rich and powerful. You are just pathetic, poor people, which she's not wrong, but you probably couldn't have, you probably didn't have to be that evil, like a simple, maybe no. I get why you wouldn't want to give them the money, but you kind of just came out them with shots. Also, there is a scene in this part where she basically tells them to leave right away, and as they're leaving, you can hear the dog barking at her cat, and she just goes full Karen mode on them and just says, ah, my cat! And she like bursts out of the house, running to them, screaming at the girls, telling them to get off her property, standing in the middle of the street while she's still trying to fight them as they're in their car. Like, oh my god, I love Goris Leachman so much just because of that. Like, if this whole movie was about her, I probably would have loved it 100% more. No lie, she is, I feel like, my favorite character in this entire movie, just because she is so over the top. I mean, she is, everybody could be like at a 50, she's at like 200 something, you know, she is just so above and beyond. But Gravedigger gives them a little bit of a backstory before all of that happens, telling them how two twins lived in that house, one good, one evil. Obviously talking about the Aunt Sophia and Aunt Agatha, who Aunt Sophia's trapped in a mirror because Aunt Agatha absolutely hates her. You know, she wants to be an only child. Well, that's how you do it. You just basically lock up your twin in a mirror, because that's easy to do. But, you know, after they got no, basically the girls want to try and think of a plan how to save the house, because this is the house they have grown up in. They don't know any other house. Which, I can get that. I can understand you want to be in the same house. It's sad to leave a house that you've known almost your entire life. It's not easy. So I get where they're coming from. Plus, when you're a kid and your parents tell you that there's problems going on and that they will figure it out, don't worry about it. Of course the kid is going to freaking worry about it, because that's what we all do as kids. And then we try and think of many plans to try and help our parents out, but obviously these girls go a little bit far because they decide to trick their parents and also trick these other kids into, here, we'll give you candy if you just walk around with our parents for the next couple of hours. I mean, that's not going to scare your parents, even though the kids are like, we should probably ask our parents if we can do that. They're like, no, shut up and take our candy and dress in our costumes that look ridiculous, and I'm not 100% sure what they are, so yeah. So they eventually trick them. Obviously the parents have no idea, none of the parents have any idea that their kids are missing at all. So as they're on their way to figure out some kind of a plan here, they run into Mr. N, and Mr. N basically is like, oh, there's a possible reward that I can get because this moonstone you're after is super valuable. Well, I'll help you because I love money. Which, I mean, if you're living under a bridge, I guess money does come up. But I guess food would come up too. But, you know, we've already found out he doesn't like pineapples. So, yeah. So he decides to help them out. And he takes them to a fortune teller, Miss Lulu, and they basically give her a heart attack and she probably dies because the wand that they were given at the beginning by Oscar the Great is apparently powerful and has magic, or they have magic. It never really... They just say it's a magic wand, but they never say if the magic comes from the wand or if it comes from the girls because they're twins. Not really sure. We're going to go with both. But obviously they're trying to figure out where the Witching Gathering is so they can get the Moonstone. Find out where it is, give this lady a heart attack, then they catch a ride on a pumpkin truck, crash in the pumpkin truck, which I guess we'll play into later because I guess the witches at the gathering needed those. So I guess they did a good thing without realizing, because causing a car accident and maybe killing you guys and the guy driving probably could have been gone. It could have went a lot better than what you did, you know, you didn't have to do it like that. So, as they're on their way, they get lost in the forest and have Mr. N basically be like, hey, you're a grown-up, you should probably help us find where we need to go. And he's like, sure. So they end up running into Oscar. Oscar ends up helping them, saying, hey, you know, I'll help you guys out. That wand is still magic. And basically, he's like, hey, I got no problem helping you. Just maybe don't break into my house anymore. You know, maybe wait till I answer the door instead of knocking and walking in. Because apparently kids in the 90s thought that was a good idea. You just knock, walk in, and that's okay. So, as they're on their way to the Witching Gathering, trying to figure out some kind of a plan, which I hate the whole Witching Gathering scene. I feel like it's the dumbest part of this entire movie. I will explain that in my pros and cons section, but they end up tricking Aunt Agatha into giving them the Moonstone, able to run away. They end up splitting up because apparently they think that's a good idea when you need the Moonstone and you also need each other, but we don't find that out till later because reasons? Twins movie, I guess? So, obviously one of them ends up getting caught. Aunt Agatha tries to play a bargain with them, saying, hey, I'll give you your sister back if you give me the Moonstone back, because apparently they find out they need both of the twins to be there, and then they need to say an incantation, but, you know, Aunt Sophia can't help them with that. You know, you've been stuck in a freaking mirror for 7 freaking years, lady. You would think, hey, if someone comes up to me and says, how do we get you out? And you're like, oh, I don't really know. I would probably be a little pissed and be like, well, I'm sorry, Aunt Sophia. You're stuck in a mirror forever because you can't help me out. Like, how can you not tell us that? And it's not even an incantation, to be honest. Because, you know, after everyone plays brave and gets turned into an animal, because everybody who helps the girls gets turned into an animal, which is just very interesting, but okay, at least they don't die. And basically all they told each other for the secret incantation was, I love you, Lynn. I love you too, Kelly. Like, we're best. I love being a twin. Like, that's not an incantation. That's just saying I love you to your sister. Like, if that's an incantation, holy hell, that is the worst one ever. I mean, I get the power of love and stuff, but maybe, like, Hocus Pocus or Alakazam or something like that could have also gone with it. not just saying I love you to your sister, but apparently it works. The two aunts end up fighting with each other before anybody realizes, hey, it's like 3-on-1. Why don't we just help Aunt Sophia and not watch her struggle here? So Aunt Agatha gets stuck into the mirror and she's trapped forever. Parents finally notice that their girls are gone and end up getting a tip from a cop who was on patrol. Run to the house. The dog pushes one of the girls into the mirror. Mirror shatters all over the place, so please be careful. Do not step on that shit, because that will hurt, and you will have it stuck in your foot for a little bit, especially those little tiny pieces that somehow will give you a slither, but then you don't know that it's in your foot until you step on the wrong spot. It's owies on the foots. But end up finding out Aunt Sophia is okay. Nobody questions where she's been for the last 7 years because, if I had a family member who was gone for 7 freaking years with a guy that she was supposedly gonna get married to, I'm calling the cops within the first couple of days, not waiting until 7 years to be like, that is weird. She never called us back or never told us anything about her future. Because she was in a mirror. And you're also a terrible niece for you never noticing that she was gone for the last 7 years. And it never dawned on you like, hey, my aunt's missing. I should probably call somebody who I was close with. Stupid. So, the day is saved. They end up actually... Aunt Sophia ends up giving them the money to save the house. Obviously, the parents are like, it's just a loan. We'll pay you back. She's like, I don't care. I'm going to kiss George and love on my man here. So the girls end up cleaning the glass, which I feel is kind of bogus to make your kids clean up the glass because they're 7 and could easily cut themselves. Like, it doesn't even if they're handling it properly, you could still easily cut yourself on that stuff. Like, it's so sharp on the edges there. Like, it sucks. So, but Aunt Agatha tries one more try to be like, hey, I'll make you not twins anymore if you want, but just help me. And they're like, not a chance, and just throw it in the garbage and say, peace out, lady. And then, yeah, that is basically Double Toil and Trouble in a nutshell. I probably could have done that better. Also, I could have probably done that worse, too. So, there was a lot of ups and downs on that one, but we're not going to look at it like that. We're just going to say I did an okay job, okay? Don't judge me here. So let's get on to my rating here. I overall did enjoy this movie. I always did enjoy this movie. I did find it very cheesy and stuff even before I reviewed it, but I still enjoy the movie. So I'm going to give this movie a C-. It feels a lot shorter than it really is. Like, there were times where, well, I shouldn't say shorter. I mean, it felt longer than it actually was. There was just some scenes that seemed to drag on and they were just kind of saying the same thing or saying nonsense like it didn't need to be said. But yeah, a C-. There's still good things in it. I still, like Hocus Pocus, watch it at Halloween every once in a while. It's still one of the Halloween movies. I even remember watching this with my stepsister because she had a lot of the Mary-Kate and Ashley movies, like It Takes Two, Billboard Dad. She had like their detective series, TV show movies, whatever they were. I remember watching those with her. So this movie still has like nostalgia on me, but I can still see why I wouldn't enjoy it as much as Hocus Pocus, even though I gave them almost about the same rating. But some of the pros, obviously, Goris Leachman is by far the best part of this entire movie, hands down. Anytime she was in a scene, she made the whole scene that much better. Like, I could literally watch a movie about Aunt Agatha and I'd be happy with it. It was 100% my favorite part of anytime she was on screen. She always brought an energy that I just loved seeing. And she is just by far my favorite characters in this entire movie. For a TV movie, I guess this is categorized it is. The effects weren't bad at all. Like, there was one scene with Oscar the Great being carried up by balloons, and you can kind of see the wire on the back that's hoisting him up, but it still looks good. Like, you can't notice it. And, like, I mean, obviously, once you see it, you notice it now every time you watch it. But at the time, I never noticed it until my last rewatch of it that I noticed. I was like, oh, crap, there it is. But, like, the two scenes where Aunt Sophia and Aunt Agatha are both in the same room, like, it looked good. You couldn't tell. Like, I'm sure some people who really watch those and can see where the screen split together and formed in there, I could not notice it, so it looked really good to me. Some of the effects still looked good. They didn't look 100% dated. You know, for a 99 or 1993 film, it still looked great. I watched, like, Smart House, that was from, like, 98, not too long ago, and some of the effects on there were not good, like, at all. So from a film from 93 looking better than a film from 98, I gotta give it props for that, you know. Some of the cons, that whole witching gathering scene, I absolutely hated it. It is by far my least favorite scene, and it's just because these people are witches, right? Like, they have powers, correct? How come none of them ever used it in this scene? So, basically, Oscar and Mr. N decide to create this tall person where Oscar's on top of Mr. N's shoulders because he's got a deep voice and he can be menacing. He tricks Aunt Agatha into saying, hey, I will make your power stronger if you give me the Moonstone. I'll help you out. Obviously, she doesn't trust him, which that's good. You shouldn't trust this guy right away. Mr. N throws some stuff in this cauldron. One, hand raised here, questions. How did nobody see his hand not go in there and put that stuff in there? I mean, they showed many angles of them at the cauldron. One, they are not as close to the cauldron as they are when he's throwing the stuff in there. Two, how did the people on the other side of the cauldron not see a hand stick out into the cauldron? Also, how did Aunt Agatha not see it? How did the people behind them not see it? Like, there are so many questions on how nobody saw anything. And I know, yes, kids film, but still, that is a very glaring problem. Then, how did the girl sneak out and put those ropes stacked like that as their bodies? How did nobody notice that? Because when they were sitting there were no ropes there. At least I didn't see any. But how did they do that with nobody noticing them there? Because obviously Aunt Agatha knew right away that they were there and where they were sitting. But nobody noticed them leaving. And then nobody could catch Oscar and Mr. N when they're on their way running out. You have powers. Make a wall. Make the floor slippery so they slide and can't run. Do literally throw a rock. I mean, good freaking Lord. It was just so freaking stupid, and I hate the whole scene. Like, that scene alone ruined so much because it was just so stupid. And it made no sense how they were even able to get out of there. And even at one point, like, Aunt Agatha has one of the twins, and they find out the tire's flat, so they're trying to fix it. You can see an extra or somebody still running in the background with a torch. Like, does nobody communicate and say, hey, we got one, we don't need to worry, I got what I need, I'm going back home? Like, no communication at all. Like, just terrible witching gathering. Also, all the parents are terrible. Why is it in 93 parents are the worst thing in the world? Because the twins' parents had no idea that their kids were missing this whole time. You were trick-or-treating with your girls for hours, but they never said anything to you. Like, you never asked them, like, oh, look, that candy looks pretty good. Like, did you want that kind of candy? Or, hey, this house looks pretty cool. Did you want to go here? Or, hey, those friends are waving at you. Did you want to go talk to them? Like, nothing, no type of questions. It was, let's just talk about how much we love each other and let's just walk away while they're still not right by us. And then the kids who those people belonged, like the parents whose kids they were like, oh, it's cool that you basically kidnapped my kids and didn't tell me that you had my kids, and it's fine, your kids are probably fine, they're just out hanging out because it's Halloween. Lady, why are you so damn calm about this? You should probably be freaking out right now, not I'm just gonna have a cup of tea and be like, this is the happiest thing ever. Like, you're kind of stupid for that, lady. You're just not a good parent. Just admit it. And then my last con, the Gravedigger. As much as I love Boris Leachman in this movie, I do not like this Gravedigger at all. The first introduction we get of this guy, he is already jumping and flipping out because he sees a dog. Like, he's never seen a dog before. The dog wasn't even growling that or anything. It, like, maybe barked. And I could get that, like, oh, whoa, there's a dog. Okay. Unless you were deathly allergic to a dog, you should not be having that type of reaction. And then you see twins, and then you freak out again. You are a gravedigger, basically in a graveyard all the time, digging graves for people to put bodies in. Like, that should already freak you out already. And then, like, I know he gets, like, a character somewhat arc at the end where he realizes he can be brave for the girls to help him to do the right thing. But my freaking God, like, everything scares this dude. He is so jumpy all the damn time. Like, I don't know if, like, I should blame the actor or just blame, you know, the writing or directing. Like, I don't really know who to blame for it, but it just really took me out, and I just hated the character, you know. I ended up not liking him because of that, just because he was just, I don't know, I didn't like how his character was portrayed, okay? That let's just say that. I just did not like the character. And yeah, that is Hocus Pocus. Or not, wow, I am so sorry. That is not Hocus Pocus. It is Double Toil and Trouble. Wow. I am in double trouble with that one. Holy hell. But yeah, not a bad film. I will still go back and watch it. I still get enjoyment out of it. Like, I wouldn't say I get as much enjoyment out of it as I do Hocus Pocus. Like, I could probably say Hocus Pocus is a solid B, but if I'm keeping the nostalgia glasses off, I gotta put that as a C. But this one, I still enjoy, but I could see its flaws as well. But overall, still a good film. I'll still watch it every Halloween if I can. And yeah, next week, I'm not sure what I'll review. I have a couple ideas of what movies I want to watch or review, but I'm not sure which one I'm going to do just yet. It might be a kid's movie. It might be an actual horror movie. I don't know. I haven't decided. But if you have any ideas, let me know, and maybe I'll do one of those instead. But love ya. Be safe. Halloween out. No, not that. I'm not doing that. Was just dumb.